Yeah, they really did. And I got to tell you, they will tell you this impacts everyone from homeowners to building owners to building folks as well as businesses. And they did it, Molly, in 45 days. They collected 430,000 signatures. And if the Secretary of State approves them, this will be on the ballot in November. Talk about cooking with gas. It is essential for the kind of cuisine fired up on the daily at Maori Foods. Could you do this restaurant without gas?
No.
But he's worried about a ban on natural gas.
We need that open flame to char the meat.
And he needs it to power his refrigeration units at 4 stores and 2 more soon to open. He says converting to electricity would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's why he's not only backing an initiative vying for a spot on the November ballot. Backers of Initiative 2066 announced they believe they've collected those signatures and announced it at his store.
We're making a very loud statement that the state needs to keep itself out of our energy choice, out of the heating options that we have in our home, out of the cooking options we have in our home.
Same goes for businesses, including home builders, says I-2066 sponsor, the Building Industry Association of Washington.
They are determined to ban natural gas. They started with the building codes in regulating natural gas in new residential and business construction.
The measure would repeal part of a new state law that pushed to end natural gas use in buildings, part of the state's mandate to reach zero carbon emissions by 2045. But there's some confusion. Puget Sound Energy was not available for an interview, but in an email said there's no ban on natural gas, and it's got an obligation to serve any customer who wants gas. We took that to the initiative backers.
It's going to be too late when the gas ban happens. So we're saying preemptively, if you're not planning a ban, then you won't mind that we say preemptively, don't ban the gas.
Now, Puget Sound Energy went on to say in an email that 2066 does appear to repeal some aspect of their planning required under that new law and reinstates natural gas conservation measures. It is currently evaluating the potential impact, it says, on customers. Reporting live, I'm Michelle Esteban, KOMO News.
Meanwhile, tonight, supporters of an initiative to stop the state's push to end natural gas use in buildings and homes believe they have collected enough signatures to get their measure on the November ballot. Mary Nam joins me tonight. So, Mary, those supporters actually got more signatures than what was needed.
That's right, Steve, and they did it in only 45 days. Supporters of Initiative 2066 say the measure simply gives people the option to choose gas or electricity. Tonight, I talked to Michelle Esteban about how this decision could also impact business owners' bottom line.
All right, so this is Initiative 2066, and honestly, this thing has come together really quickly. In fact, just 45 days ago, backers decided we're going to get the signatures that we need. They needed like over 325,000. They've got over 430,000. You know, you always want to get a little bit more because some of those could be invalid. They'll have to be verified and certified by the Secretary of State's office before it can go on the November ballot. But they're feeling really confident. And what they're concerned about is the potential for a gas ban. They think that the state is set up to do that. There was a new law that was passed last year that's really, you know, transitioning towards getting away from natural gas. And it calls on Puget Sound Energy, which is the largest energy provider, to start working in that direction. You know, we're seeing more and more of that everywhere, right? A lot of people switching over to heat pumps. So that's kind of one of those things about when it comes to reducing carbon emissions. This is one way to do that. The concern here is as we start moving in that direction, people still want to preserve the choice. So if you have gas in your home and you want to keep it, this measure is about making sure you can keep it. If you want electricity, you know, you can do that too. So again, you know, you hear a lot about we want to avoid a gas ban, but what the backers will tell you is it's not about gas or electricity, it's about choice.
They have reason to be concerned, I think, because I think word was already out there in the last couple of years that there was a gas ban coming. You could hear people talking about it when they buy new homes and they're picking appliances and they're picking electric because they thought there was a gas ban or there will very soon be a gas ban. So it was kind of already out there. So they're trying to cement the choice, it looks like, in the law.
And what's interesting is, you know, I reached out to Puget Sound Energy and I said, so what's the story here? Because I'm really sensing a lot of confusion from people. Is there a gas ban? Is there not a gas ban that's coming? And what they said is there is no gas ban. We have an obligation to service our customers. But then I got another email that said, well, there is a part of the law that we're looking at, an aspect that could change the way we're required to make these transitions. So we're going to evaluate that and figure out how that affects our customers. So I think what we're hearing from supporters here is the infrastructure is being built. They really believe it's coming. And if you say it's not coming, what the backers will tell you is, well, then what does it matter if we pass this law? What does it matter? Let's let the voters decide. So that's what I'm hearing over and over again is just, look, let's make sure people have that choice. And if there isn't a gas ban that we have to worry about, then let's preemptively make sure we don't.
I know you talked to some restaurant owners, and there's definitely a cost element with this too. Can you
Right.
talk more about that?
Right. I mean, it's builders, right? Talking about building homes. That's the main sponsor. The Building Industry of Association of Washington is the main sponsor here. We've got Let's Go Washington as well as the Washington Hospitality Association, which is what you're getting at. And I want to just pull up a stat for you. The restaurants are concerned, and the Hospitality Association, they did a survey with their members, Mary. 85% of service members said that they use natural gas and it is essential to running their businesses. And in Puget Sound Energy's service area, that translates to about 8,700 restaurants. One of the restaurant owners I spoke to today, he runs a grocery store as well as a kitchen, and they do Indian cuisine among some others, and they need that open fire. They got to char meat, they've got to roast vegetables. It is very essential to their cooking. He has 4 grocery stores with kitchens in them. He's opening 2 more. He told me that if he has to convert from gas to electricity, just at a minimum, it's probably going to be about $700,000 for him. That's just to convert. If he has to replace all of his equipment, now he said he's worried about getting into the millions. Mary?
Wow. Well, bottom line, they have enough signatures, and voters will see it this November.
Well, yes and no. I think that if you ask them, they will tell you they're very confident. They're continuing to collect signatures until the deadline, which is July 5th. They'd like to get 500,000, but they just turned in over 430,000 more than they need to the Secretary of State. But first, now what has to happen? They've got to verify those. They've got to make sure that all those are registered voters. Some of those may be invalid, so you can always count on some being kicked out. The question is how many. So they feel very confident that it's likely that voters will see this in November, but we have to wait for the Secretary of State to tell us for certain.
Absolutely. And a lot of strong opinions about this one. Michelle
Absolutely.
Esteban, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So, Steve, as you heard Michelle say, initiative supporters are really confident it will be on the ballot.
A lot of signatures in a very short amount of time. Mary, thank you.